Alright, Hawkins here with Chickenhawkfarmstead. Today I'm working on, it's going to hopefully be a pretty nice little indoor greens growing setup. I'm going to be using the cracky style, from what I understand, hydroponics growing method. And I'll show you what that's all about. I should have, with this system, should have fresh greens, and they say about 20 days. So it works out. I'll have an update later. This is about the build process. Let's get to it. Alright, so first things first is I was trying to go, I don't know how good it's going to work out, so I want to go cheap / inexpensive and use a lot of stuff what I have on hand. These here, these little totes, I got at the Dollar Tree, $1 a piece. So I think they're going to be, I'm going to be able to hold enough fluid in there, and I'm not going all crazy with them, and just kind of keep it look presentable, I guess. We're just doing 2 holes in the top. So you can see on this one a little bit, I guess in the manufacturing, there's like a little mark right there in the center, so I use the center on that. And then we have our 2-inch net cups. So basically, it's going to end up like that, you know, just one top. And we'll have our net cup dropped in there, and then our little root and plug and our seed. And this chamber will be filled with the growing solution. So we should have, it looks about 2 inches or so, 2 or 3 inches before we touch the bottom of that thing. Growing solution. So let me show you what the shelf looks like. Oh, real quick for this, you see I just stacked them all up and went nice and slow with the 2-inch hose saw here. And that way this thing kind of heated up from the friction and melted as much as it did cutting. That kind of eliminates it. You don't have too many of these shavings. But, alright, let me show you the next part. Alright, so for this little build, I already had this shelf upstairs. So I replaced it with a shelf I wasn't using, of a different kind. Because these wire racks, they give you a lot more versatility. You got more things you can do with this. I'm gonna have to apologize for the kids in the background. They're kind of hanging out today. Are y'all learning stuff? Yes. You gonna say hi? Hi. And she has her, it's the middle of the day, she has her bathrobe on, but she's got regular clothes underneath. So anyways, back to this setup. So we got our metal rack. We're actually gonna do 2 of these, one here, and then one on that rack itself there. Using these lights. And the guy I got the idea from, I'll link to his video below so you can kind of see where I got this, where I got my ideas from, and then this is how I piece mine together, if that makes sense. So we're going to do 2 plants, obviously, with 2 net cups in each. We already have the lights hanging here. These are 2-foot Barrina, I think, what are they, 25 watt, 24 watt, full spectrum grow lights. And they are linkable. You can see here, so you can put them all on the same timer. You just plug these little things in, and it just bridges it to the next one. You can link them together, and then you have one that has, sorry for the rapid moving, that will have a switch on it, like this. And we're going to end up hooking that into our little timer for our on-off, simple mechanical timer. So here's what the light looks like. It's 24-inch LED full spectrum grow light, like I said. So you'll get this, and then you get these little metal bars, and they just slide on to make this part. They help reflect the light downwards towards your plants. Also had some of this foam insulation here. It's very reflective, so I put that there. And around the front, like around here, around the front, what I'm thinking about maybe wrapping around here when, you know, I'm not down here messing with it or doing anything, just to keep more of that light in, is I have, it's from the dollar store, it's a windshield cover. It's covered in the same kind of metallic film as this, and yeah, you put it over your windshield to keep reflect all the sunlight out, keeps your car cool. So I'm thinking, why not use that as a wrap around the front? So there's that part. Like I said, I'm going to do another row down here, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Some more of the pieces. is the 2-inch net pots. Seems like a good size, but they're not too big, not too small. And I've never used these before, but this is what he recommended to use. Was rapid rooter plugs. They're already kind of like a moistened plug for starting plants. So we're going to see how that works out. You can see some more pictures of it. And he's got links in his video. So, yeah, so he gave me the idea. You can go through his links and see where all this stuff is. These were almost sold out. You can get these in 4-foot strips or the 2-footers. So, 2-footer, they had a 6-pack left. I think they're like less than $10 of light, I think, with free shipping I paid. And I like the 2-footers because they're versatile. Because you can actually put a butt connector here and put 2 of them right next to each other. So you can make a 4-foot lamp out of a 2-footer if you need to. But the 2-footer works good on this. Alright, so the kids are getting kind of noisy, so I'm going to keep working on this, and we'll be back in just a second to show you what I got going next. Alright, well, here's the finished product, or as far as I can go for now, as far as putting it all together. I ended up going with 3 of these on each level, because just the spacing and the light. With 4, there was going to be too much overhang past the end of this one, where I fear these plants are going to be growing this way. So, and these holes actually line up almost perfectly directly under the front and back light. So you can see that. Yeah, so that worked out. And then, like I said, these things all daisy chain. So these are all on one switch, which there's nothing there right now. I'm just got the light on to show you kind of what it looks like. And when it's brought over here, you just secondly grab a net pot. Alright, so here's our seed. Our starts are going to be in here and growing. They'll be in the net pot, so we'll take them out of there. Fill this up with our grow solution. Just drop our pot in. And our grow solution, let me spin this thing around. We want to bring our grow solution up just to where it's just past that. And what's supposed to happen is they'll start sprouting roots, and the roots will come down. Might already have roots by the time we put it in here, but they'll come down into the solution here and use that, and just keep eye on the level of solution. These things, what I want to do, I just want to try to get this thing up. Since I got a little bit before the starts already, and probably have time to do it, is I'm going to take a piece of like painter's tape and put a strip down these, and then paint the whole thing black. That way, knowing this extra light gets in there, hopefully that will reduce some algae growth. Also, I like these white tops because it is going to reflect back some of that light. And we could even do a 3rd shelf on the bottom if I wanted to pull those grow lights out. Down there, I just got some of those, I think they're like sawdust plugs. And I just put a whole bunch of them in one of the little grow trays. And put seeds in all of them, so hopefully I can get some starts out of there. Right now, that's just using water. And then, like I said, up here is our little starts in the net pots. I just put them all in one of those little containers. I said most of the stuff I had on hand. I already had this little grow light there. And we're going to do, I guess, 18 hours on and 6 off with our mechanical timer. This thing here, I got it just on veg. And really, these are in here for the heat right now as much as anything. So, but that's the setup. Super simple. And I went ahead and made a gallon of the grow solution because, what is it? Here, let me pull out the ingredients and I'll show you what we mixed up. Alright, here's the packages of what I ordered. It's the MASTERBLEND 3-piece system, I think it was called. Got the MASTERBLEND mix, the calcium nitrate, and the Epsom salt. And it's 2 grams of the MASTERBLEND, 2 grams of the calcium nitrate, and then 1 gram of the Epsom salt, which is, I mean, it's a ridiculously small amount of these ingredients, and that's per gallon. So 221 per gallon is all you got to remember. And this thing, I'm thinking these might use half a gallon maybe each. So if that's the case, that's 1, 2, 3 gallons I might have to make for this thing. And then I used half a gallon for the seed mix. But that's it. I think the nutrient, I got all that there for 20 bucks. Like I said, I'm gonna have a link to the other channel where he's got a system with pumps and all kinds of stuff. But I was trying to get something done and get this thing in place, and see if I'm actually gonna come down here and take care of this thing before I invest much more money into it. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty swell little setup, and we should have greens here soon. So look for an update within the next, I guess, like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I might do a weekly update depending on how this thing takes off. If I got stuff to show. So I guess I can show what I'm doing there. He recommended using the Easy Sew stuff, as far as like, not necessarily Easy Sew brand or whatever, but the ones that were coated. It just makes it a lot easier to mess with some of these smaller seeds. We threw some Swiss chard in there, some lettuce, some spinach, and kale. So we'll see what we get. So stay tuned. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can get the updates on how this thing ends up working. Have a great one.